And the Fat Kid returns. Today we'll discuss my tow rig for all of my excursions. This is a 2024 Ranger XLT with a bed rack. It handles all of my totes. I'm in the process of converting all of my totes over to these Yeti packouts. All three, I have three of them. Three of them will fit up there on that rack. That way all of my camp gear and everything will fit up there. This truck has had obviously its windows tinted. It is PPF'd front to back, ceramic coated. That way when I'm out on the trail, I run it through some trees, scratch it all up, then I just pull that off and I can put it back on again. I still have plenty of room underneath this rack system to load in. I can load in a lawnmower. I can still have a ton of room. Oh, I could pull the front tire off my bicycle and lay it down back here even. Nice thing about this setup is with this tailgate up, I could still put all of my gear under here that I need, and none of these holes are big enough to pull out my generator, any of the expensive stuff. The bikes, you kind of secures it without putting a top on it. Gives me all of my room to put my gear in here and do everything. It's just a nice little rig. I don't, like I said, I don't do much, but it has everything I need. And I've got a 6-inch tube that can go here and a 6-inch tube that can go here. PVC Schedule 40 tubes is all they are. I haven't got the tie downs for those yet. I just ordered those today. But those hold 1.4 gallons per foot, and they're 5 foot apiece. So 14.4 gallons of fresh water will also haul on there. I can fill it full of air and it'll self-discharge, or I have a relief valve and just a little, what do you call it? A twist valve to get the water out of it. As long as I'm fairly level or rear low, I should be able to drain them completely. Once I get new tires, I'm going to wear these out, but I do plan on putting a slightly larger tire underneath it. Probably put a 2-inch lift on the front and a 1-inch lift on the back to level it. That way, if I'm on just fairly level ground, I can, whatever you call it, get all the water, or 99% of the water out of them. And they just bolt on and bolt off when I don't need them. Wintertime, just got to make sure that they're empty, otherwise they will break. Ask me how I know. I had one set where I had them set up and it got a little cooler than I thought it was and cracked one night. So I didn't think that, I just thought that it was going to stay warm enough long enough to where it would, no way that it would freeze that water all the way through. It's just, I didn't take into consideration that it was about a 24-hour period where it was at or below freezing. I think I left home that day at 35 and it got down to like 26 and stayed at 26 for my entire drive home the next day. And it was just long enough for it to expand enough to crack the plastic. So you have to take that into consideration. Other than that, it's just a nice little rig, tow rig. I know I made the joke the other day. I called him Henry, because it's a Ford, obviously. Dumb dad joke, obviously. But I've loved this truck. I've only had it 2 months. Put just over 6,000 miles on it in the 2 months. Most of that came from a trip where I went and camped for 10 days in Death Valley. So from here to Death Valley is like 1,500 miles from where I live. So, just 3,000 miles alone, just going out there and back and then driving around the park and stuff. I think that trip was grand total of just over 4,000 miles. So, but yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to have everything ready to go. I haven't done any real winter camping this year other than going to Death Valley, but I will be doing a lot more in the future. Now that spring has sprung, it's going to be like 65 degrees here today, or 60 degrees here, or something like that today. Going to be a little crazy after getting cold for a couple days, getting several inches of snow. Most of it's all gone. I still got some piles here at the shop from when they scooped it all off the other day. But like I said, it's a cool little rig. Gets about 20 miles to the gallon normally. Pulling the trailer, it gets 15, 14. If you get really heavy winds, it'll get right down to 11 or 12. So yeah, it'll be painful if I'm out there in heavy winds, but if it's fairly calm, she'll get 14 pretty easy. Pulling a 3,000 pound wind sock of a trailer. So, and then my son has a teardrop. Pulling that, it doesn't even know it's back there. It's 1,200 pounds and just barely taller than the truck. And I'm by barely taller than the truck, I'm saying just barely taller than the tailgate of the truck. So the wind pretty much glides right off of his little teardrop. I will probably use it a little bit because I like to go places where my other trailer can't go, where my son's teardrop is set up for off-roading. He takes it off with his Bronco. He's got a lifted Bronco that he plays around with. So, but here's my tow rig. One of these days I'm going to do a breakdown of probably my camp kitchen, which is that box up there, with all of my gear in it and that pack out box. Those are really nice boxes. Very, very expensive though. But I was sick of using the cheaper tubs, the Planos, the ones that always break if it's just a little chilly or you drop one down just a little bit, they crack and break. That thing, I could throw that thing off from up there and you're not going to do anything other than scratch it. But that's also $300, not $50. I've seen a lot of people using the Milwaukee pack outs and stuff like that. Just didn't fit where I needed them to fit. So I had seen that my son had a couple of those pack outs from Yeti, and I kind of set it up. I was like, those will work. So I went and picked myself up 3 of them. So I have 3 of them now. Didn't necessarily care to write that check, but as long as my gear is secure, waterproof, dust-proof, I'm good. That's all I care about. I do have some strapping, metal straps that will hold that all down, that I can put a lock in it just to kind of, protect it a little bit. A thief is gonna thief, no matter what. No matter how secure I get it, if a thief wants it, a thief's gonna get it. Best I can do is just make it harder for them. The harder I make it for them, the less likely they are to take things. Like I said, a thief is gonna thief, and if they want it bad enough, they're gonna get it. And I rarely will have anything on there when I'm away from the rig. If I'm camping or something, the rig will be right there with camper. Where I'm at, pretty much always be with me. So I'm not concerned too much about it unless I'm going to be, go to Walmart or something where I actually have to leave the truck out of my sight. and stuff like that. Let's see here. I do have a trip I think I'm going to take this next weekend. Haven't quite decided yet. Waiting for my son to get back from, he's currently camping in Colorado. But we have some work to do next weekend, and if he's okay with doing the work that we got to do next Saturday by himself, then I'm going to take off next Saturday and do a few days of camping. Otherwise, I will have another video for you guys next weekend. If I'm not able to go camping, I'll do a breakdown of my camp kitchen and show off that Yeti pack out. They're really nice. Like I said, they got them where they can do pretty much anything.